Another area in the Pacific that is also dedicated to protecting and learning more about its manta population is Hawaii. And one of the paramount places to interact with giant rays is along the western Kona coast of the Big Island.
I work at Jack's Diving Locker, which is a PADI 5-star facility, and one thing that we've seen in our 25 years of business is that people come to Hawaii not just for the fantastic diving, but for the fantastic diving with manta rays. I logged my first manta ray night dive in Kona August 13th, 1985. It immediately took my breath away, and at that moment a spark was lit inside of me, and since then I've been very, very passionate and dedicated to the manta rays. Well, we founded the Manta Pacific Research Foundation because we wanted to take it to the next level. Our mission is to conduct scientific research about manta rays in their natural environment, to educate the public about manta rays, and to pursue an agenda of protection for manta rays.
In 2002, the nonprofit foundation began collaboration with marine biologist Tim Clark, who studies manta populations around the world.
People call the ones we see out here either the white manta rays or the chevron manta rays because they have a white belly to them with little black spots all over them. So we can identify them by those spots throughout their entire life. So the Hawaiians have a name for the manta ray, which is hahalua. We actually have 102 now that we've identified in the population here since 1991. Right now we have about 50 listening stations along the coastline, which is about 150-kilometer distance apart. We have 30 animals that had transmitters as they swam up and down the coast. Sugar ray was the first ray we did any tracks on. Every yellow dot is the location of sugar ray every 15 minutes. So what we see with all the rays is very similar to this. They're utilizing a very, very small area. So this seems to be very unique here in that we have this very critical habitat that they're utilizing, and they're utilizing it on a regular basis over very long periods of time.
One of the things that we've done is to bring the community into the Manta Pacific website. We have our identification section where you can identify the males and the females. There's often a little story about the manta ray. They can send in a photograph and they can name the manta ray.
Not only has the local community helped to photo identify over 100 mantas by their individual markings, but they also have named each and every one of them.
The manta rays get named by whoever is the first person to identify the manta ray. Lefty was easy. We had all just called her Lefty because her left cephalic fin was broken. There was another one we called her Big Bertha just because she was really big female. There was one we named Taz after the Tasmanian devil because when he was really young, he would come in and he would approach and then just spin around as fast as he could, kind of like the Tasmanian devil does in the cartoons. Some of the fun names that we have are, for example, X-Ray. She's got what looks like an X on her chest. Hoo-Ray, Fay-Ray, Stevie Ray, Sugar Ray. I mean, all the classics. If you put a face to that name, all of a sudden it becomes really personal. People take a lot of interest and they invest a lot of themselves in protecting manta rays.
To further share his passion, Keller leads regular tourist dive trips out to a popular manta location.
We have one of the world's best spots to see manta rays. We're going to a place called Garden Eel Cove, and the manta rays like to gather there. At night, our lights attract plankton, and the manta rays come and feed on the plankton attracted to our lights. With a little bit, a lot of manta rays. So get your manta mojo flowing and let's go. The whole area of dive, we're going to be back here in the shallow water. We try to be very environmentally conscious. We stress not touching or harming or interfering with the manta rays at all. We'll do that again. Who wants to go scuba diving? Here we go.
Mantas are also referred to as devil rays, since the two large appendages that project from their head look like horns. When feeding, these front cephalic fins unfurl, funneling plankton-rich waters into their cavernous mouths, where gill rakers allow the animal to strain and capture up to 2% of its body weight per day. And since mantas have no real predators to fear, their inquisitive nature often leads them right up to investigate divers. even in the blackness of night.
It's like a celestial cathedral underwater. You have the snorkelers on the surface and their lights are shining down, and the divers on the bottom, their lights are shining up, and then the manta rays come swooping out of the darkness, their white bellies shining. It is just the most spectacular thing. Nothing prepares a diver for actually being underwater and having a 16-foot, 1,000, 2,000-pound animal come up within inches of their face. When people get out of the water, they are usually blown away. They are giddy. They are overdosing on adrenaline. It really changes people's lives.
I've been diving since 1977, and this was the most impressive dive I've had.
You're getting excited with them being around, and they seem to be excited that you're there and doing a dance for you, and they'll come up and they'll make like eye contact with you, and you'll just look into their eyes and look into yours, and then they'll swim by and come back to you over and over again.
I definitely like the mantas. I definitely want to do more research about them, see what I can do about them, see if I can help at all.
A lot of people don't realize it, but manta rays are becoming more and more threatened around the world, especially because of an Asian market now, which is for traditional medicines, power enhancement, aphrodisiac, that type of thing. And Indonesia especially is getting hit hard because they're fishing now for manta rays, but now they're just taking the gill rakers and they're using these gill rakers for these medicines. The locals get about $100, $140 for the gill rakers and the manta ray, and they discard the rest. It's a very consumptive fishery that eventually they're going to fish out, and then they're left with nothing.
People, from my experience, have had the most damaging effect on manta rays, in particular fishing lines and nets. Now, one manta ray, her name is Coe. She showed up, she had fishing line wrapped around her left cephalic fin. Through a community effort, we were able to cut the fishing line off of her left cephalic fin, but the fin was irreversibly damaged.
What we're seeing here in Hawaii is we have a very small population on this island. If someone wanted to come here and fish for them, they could quickly fish out all 100 of our individuals here. In the long term, a manta ray is going to be worth a lot more alive, supporting some sort of ecotourism business, than in a fishery.
Manta rays are so valuable, not just intrinsically because they're such beautiful, unique creatures, but financially, monetarily, manta rays make money. We get approximately 12,000 visiting the Big Island every year to go scuba diving and snorkeling with manta rays, and that equates to over $3 million of revenue to the state. That means these manta rays are earning a lot of money, like $100,000 a head per year.
Hawaiians realize how important these giant rays are for their communities. And because of their initiatives, the state also enacted legislation to protect mantas in its waters.
We've been able to get the manta rays listed on the IUCN Red List. We now have a House resolution that was passed here in Hawaii to protect manta rays, and we're working with the United Nations to get manta rays listed with CITES.
Hopefully the whole world, not just the people that go diving with us, will come to understand how important it is to protect and preserve manta rays.